My father died broke. That is what we all believed. For as long as any of us could remember, he never had much, never asked for much, never complained about having nothing. We buried him in a simple coffin and said our goodbyes on a cold, quiet morning. Then we went back to his small, empty house to pack up what Louis left behind. But behind a cracked wall in his bedroom was a secret he'd been carrying alone for over 30 years. And when we finally found it, it didn't heal us. It didn't unite us. It didn't make us grateful. It tore our family completely apart. My father's name was Emmanuel. He was 69 years old when he died. A quiet man, a simple man, the kind of man who never took up too much space in a room. He woke before 5 every morning, worked all day, came home tired, ate whatever was on the table. He wore the same 3 shirts for years, drove a car so old it shook on the highway. When we asked for things as children, new shoes, school trips, anything at all, his answer never changed. We don't have money for that. Every single time. Without fail. Without explanation. My mother struggled beside him for decades. Some months she cried quietly in the kitchen because the bills were too much. We were not a wealthy family. We never questioned it. It was simply the truth we lived with every single day. Or so we believed. Looking back now, there were signs. Small, quiet signs we never once stopped to question. The locked bedroom door, the private phone calls, the way he sometimes stared at nothing, like a man carrying something too heavy to ever put down. Before I continue, if this story is already pulling at you, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications. Every single week on this channel, I bring you stories like this one, stories that families tried to bury forever. Now drop a comment below and tell me, do you think my father was hiding this on purpose? I want to hear your thoughts. Now let me continue. My father collapsed on a Tuesday morning. No warning. No illness anyone knew about. He simply fell. Right there in the yard he had swept 1,000 times before. By the time the ambulance arrived, it was already too late. He was gone. 69 years old. 47 days away from his 70th birthday. The funeral was small. Quiet, a plain wooden coffin, a few neighbors, a pastor who spoke kind words over a man the world never truly knew. But one thing stayed with me from that funeral. A man, standing alone at the far edge of the cemetery, watching. He spoke to nobody, came forward for nothing, just watched in silence, and disappeared quietly when we left. 3 days later we returned to my father's house to clean it out. None of us wanted to be there. The house felt wrong without him. Smaller, heavier, like the walls themselves were holding their breath. We moved through the rooms slowly. My mother, my 2 brothers, my sister Adiz, and myself. Nobody spoke much. We just sorted, folded, packed. It was Adiz who stopped first. She had gone alone into my father's bedroom, the room he always kept locked. She called out to us. Not a scream. Not a shout, just a quiet, confused voice. Come and look at this. She was standing in front of the far wall. The old wooden wardrobe behind her had been pushed aside. She knocked on the wall. The sound was wrong. Not solid. Hollow. Something empty hiding behind it. It took us 20 minutes to break through. Behind that wall, a sealed metal compartment, built into the very structure of the house itself. Painted over so many times it had nearly disappeared. Inside, a thick brown envelope, 2 small old keys, and a worn leather notebook filled from front to back of my father's own handwriting. The envelope held a property deed for a house in a part of town none of us had ever visited. None of us even knew existed. We drove there that same evening. The house was clean, solid, well maintained. The first key opened the front door without any effort. In the back room, beneath a carefully sealed section of the floor, was a fireproof safe. The second key opened it. Inside, property documents for 2 more houses, 30 years of bank books, a folded letter addressed to my mother, and cash. More cash than any of us had ever seen in one place in our entire lives. I need to stop here for one moment, Because what happens next inside this family destroyed everything. Before I tell you, comment right now. What would you do if you found this about your own father? Would you be grateful or would you be angry? Drop your answer below right now. Subscribe if you have not yet, and keep watching, because the money does not bring this family together. It tears them apart in ways none of them ever expected. The lawyers confirmed everything. Just under $2 million in total. My father, the man who told us we had nothing, had been silently building wealth his entire adult life. We were barely out of that house before my eldest brother David began talking about what should happen to the money. His voice was calm at first. Then it was not. Within 3 days, we had stopped eating together. Within 1 week, lawyers were involved. Within 1 month, 2 of my brothers had not spoken a single word to each other. And then the stranger from the funeral came to find us. His name was Mr. Okafor, my father's private accountant for 25 years, the only person outside our family who knew absolutely everything. He said, "Your father planned to sit all of you down on his 70th birthday, show you everything, hand it over himself. He wanted to see your faces. He just ran out of time. 47 days. That is all he needed." My father was not a perfect man, but he was a devoted one. He carried that secret for 30 years, not to deceive us, but to protect us, to give us everything at once in one perfect moment. He wanted to see our faces when we found out. He wanted to be the one to hand it to us himself. He never got that chance. And the family he spent his entire life quietly building for became strangers to each other because of it. The secrets we keep to protect the people we love can become the very thing that destroys them. Tell them while you still can. Do not wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment may never come. If this story moved you, like this video right now. Subscribe to The Last Secret. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And drop a comment, because every family is one.